Surely a belt is just a belt, a piece of leather with a couple of holes to hold your pants up. I mean, wasn't Moses wearing one of these in the desert when he crossed the Red Sea? Is there a little bit more to it? Let's find out in this review. Welcome everybody to another great review with It Came From China, and in this video we're going to be looking at ratchet belts from AliExpress. Now, to some extent, belts have been the same for pretty much a couple of hundred, maybe even a couple of thousand years. A piece of leather with a couple of holes and a bolt to kind of go through that and basically keep your pants on. And that's certainly what I thought for a long time, but it's bothered me for many, many decades of my life. Isn't there more to belts? Hasn't the technology come further since then? And it turns out that is true. Today you can get a belt like this, for example, which, although still a piece of leather, has a kind of a clasp inside it, where when you feed the actual leather through, the clasp kind of grips the belt. Well, it certainly should, and kind of keeps it in place like that. So when it's on your body, it sort of keeps nicely gripped, and you can go ahead and tighten it or loosen it pretty much as you want. So that's when I got one of these, and I was introduced to this kind of concept of a belt. And it's got a kind of a clip here that you simply release with your finger. And the great thing about this kind of a belt is that you can adjust it completely freely, however you're feeling in terms of weight. And so if you wake up feeling fit and energetic in the morning, you're nice and fresh, and you might be a little bit tighter around the waist and look a little bit slimmer. But as the day progresses, you eat a little, maybe you have a business lunch, for example, or go out for dinner with friends, for example, and you decide you want to loosen your belt up just ever so slightly. A belt like this will do that, whereas the standard leather belt, of course, you've only got those quite fine holes that you can go ahead and actually use. However, a belt like this that I used for a little while, which I got as a gift, unfortunately broke very easily, and as you saw previously, it slides too quickly and too easily. So I like these ratchet style belts. Now this is one that I was given as a gift, and you can see how the ratchet mechanism works when one looks at a belt like this. The inside of the belt is covered in a whole series of different sort of very small spaced ratchets, and when you feed it through the mechanism and the actual ratchet part starts to grip onto those, you can actually hear the ratcheting occur. And once it's in place, it's pretty tight, and you need to move a little lever here to go ahead and release the belt. But the great advantage again is that you can move these in very small increments and adjust it as you feel sort of throughout the period of the day, or maybe you're going up or down a little bit of a size through different periods in life, for example. So that same belt can stick with you. Now in this particular review, we're looking at a similar type of mechanism, a ratchet mechanism again, from a belt that I bought here on AliExpress. And this particular belt so far has served me very well. I bought it about 18 months ago. It's still looking great. The condition of the overall belt is still fantastic. It claims to be a leather product, and it certainly says so on the product. Whether this is completely leather, whether it's any leather at all, I can't tell, but it certainly looks and feels comfortably like a decent leather belt, and it's absolutely tremendously comfortable to wear. After 18 months or so, the only thing I can say is it's getting tiny little scratches on the actual belt buckle, which I guess is to be expected after this amount of time, but probably something I could easily touch up with a marker or a little bit of black paint, something like that. Now, I had a look at the AliExpress page recently, and I see that the actual title has changed. It's no longer listed as just a 2016 men's belt or something like that. It actually calls itself now a Wow Tiger belt. Now, I'm not sure exactly what a Wow Tiger is, but if you're feeling very Wow Tigery, you might want to go ahead and buy the Wow Tiger belt. And if we have a look at the actual product page here, the pricing is now $9.83. So about a year and a half ago or so, I paid $9.64, so it's a very slight change. Other than that, pretty much exactly what I bought at the time. The actual buckle that I bought, I see is no longer available, so you might want to go with a different style here, but there's plenty to choose from. Note that this company do have both black and brown belts. So you can choose whatever buckle you want there simply by selecting the product, but you need to let them know when you purchase that you do want a brown rather than a black actual belt itself. In terms of overall review, certainly price-wise, it's around $10 or so, so definitely nothing that's going to break the bank, and certainly cheaper than what you'd pay retail for even a normal belt, let alone one that's as convenient and as comfortable as this kind of ratchet mechanism is. In terms of overall quality, as I mentioned, I've had it for about a year and a half with pretty frequent wear, and I can't complain too much. It's held up pretty well under all of those conditions, so certainly it's been pretty good at that. Packaging wise, I can't really recall what it came in 18 months ago, but it certainly was enough to protect the item as necessary. So overall expectation, should you chuck it? Should you consider it? Or should you go ahead and simply charge it? I would say definitely you should charge it. These are great belts and at a great price point as well. As always though, your chargeage may vary. If you're interested in this product, go ahead and check the link in the video notes to go ahead and buy it directly. Either way, please go ahead and give our video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and go ahead and subscribe to our channel for weekly reviews on what we've been buying from China. Thanks for watching.